All right, guys, welcome to Spacious Scaling. I'm so grateful you are all here. This is going to be an amazing workshop packed full of so much value for you all. So, today I'm going to show you the spacious business model that helped me to reach 30K months and now over 80K a month without a packed calendar, and have taught this to over 300 of my clients. I would love to hear who would like a spacious business model like this. Let me know in the chat. My intention for this workshop is really for this to be one of the most powerful workshops you've ever attended. This is not going to be one of those free trainings where you'll walk away with no real insights or where you're stuck in one big sales pitch for half the time. Who here has been to one of those workshops? Because I certainly have. And I'm like, okay, I'm either more confused or I am really overwhelmed, or I just feel like I'm being sold to the whole time. And that is not what this is going to be. Yes, I'm so done with the corporate world. Amazing. Yes, it is recorded. So good. All right, awesome. So today you're going to leave with clarity on exactly why your current business model isn't scaling and the exact shifts required to reach those 30K months sustainably. So everything about today is about working smarter, not harder. Let me know in the chat, do you want to work smarter, not harder, so that you can create more time, more money, and more impact? Because I don't know about you, but that's why I got into business, for those three things: time, money, and impact. Amazing. I'm so glad you guys are all on the same wavelength here with me. So let me guess, your lead generation and sales currently feel like a roller coaster. You're currently stuck delivering one-to-one to every client. You've hit an income ceiling and need a more leveraged way to increase revenue without adding more hours. And your revenue feels unpredictable. Some months are great and others feel like you're starting from scratch. You don't want to sacrifice your freedom as you scale. Let me know, does any of that resonate with you right now? Because if so, that really sucks, because I know, and I'm sure that you know as well, that you deliver really powerful client results. Like, you're very good at your craft, yet your revenue still isn't reflecting the level of impact that you want to create. You're watching others scale to 30K months, maybe even more, but with even more ease, while you're stuck in delivery mode, relying on referrals or posting endlessly on social media without the constant conversions. Who's relating to this so far? I'd love to hear. And deep down, you know that you're made for so much more than what your business is currently showcasing. Let me know. Is this all relating right now? Okay. If so, we're going to fix it. So here's the truth as to why this is the case. The coaching industry has changed. Skepticism is at an all-time high. Information is abundant. Competition is everywhere. Your potential clients are more sophisticated than ever before. They are doing their research, and what worked in 2022 doesn't work the same in 2025. And it's costing you time, money, and energy to keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Does this land with you guys right now? Amazing. It no longer works to simply post average content, be blasé in your messaging, or dabble in your marketing strategy. And let me tell you, that used to work. You used to be able to say, I help you find your purpose, or, I help you build confidence in yourself and love yourself or feel empowered, and you could sign clients. But today, that just doesn't cut it. You need to be ultra specific and tangible in your messaging in order for it to work. And that's why, it's super important what we're covering today, because if, what once was working for you is no longer working, we want to change that and update with the times. So if you really want to reach 30K per month and beyond and create true freedom in the process, you need a scalable, spacious business model that actually allows potential clients to find you, like you, and trust you really quickly. Otherwise, don't be surprised if potential clients give you objection after objection, leave you on red, and go to your competition, leaving you stuck in the same income ceiling that you've been in for way too long. Let me know in the chat, guys. Who do you actually help in your business? And let me know, is this your current situation where you have hit a income ceiling in your business? So who do you help, and have you hit an income ceiling in your business? I want to tailor today to you guys so that you get the most out of this, because I've got a very spacious business model that I can't wait to teach, and my clients are experiencing this as well. And so I want you to know that it's absolutely possible for you as well. So let me know in the chat. And hello to everyone that's just joined. I can see so many of you are joining. It's amazing. Alrighty. So if right now you don't have the leads, the clients, or the revenue that you're after, that tells me that there are holes in your marketing strategy and missing pieces in your current business model. Amazing. Loving seeing what you all do. Who's ready to change this? I don't know about you, but if I was struggling with leads and income and impact and freedom, I'd be wanting to change this. Pop a yes in the chat if you are ready to change this right now. Women 45 plus to get to the next pay bracket. Love that. I help women newly diagnosed with irregular heart rhythm. Wow, that's very specific. I love this. So good. Keep it coming, guys. All right, so this is what you're going to learn today. You are going to learn why most successful coaches hit a revenue ceiling and how you can actually break through it. You are going to learn the scalable model that I use to grow to 30K months and beyond whilst working part-time hours, and how to build a clean, lean back end that supports 30K months without burning out. Amazing. So good, guys. This is incredible. I love all your I help statements coming in. All right, so here's why you should stick around for the next hour or so. I built my coaching business to over $1 million organically in under 4 years of starting my business with zero prior marketing or business experience. I never went to uni, I almost failed school, and I had no coaching certification to begin with. I was literally 22 years old when I started, and I started as a mindset coach, helping women to build confidence right as the global pandemic started, which is arguably one of the more uncertain times to start a business. So if I can start, grow, and scale a business under those circumstances in that time, then you can too. Here's a little screenshot proof of my first 4 years in business, how we've reached over $1 million in cash. This isn't including bank transfers though, and PayPal and all of the other things. And we've since done over $2 million. So this is absolutely possible for you too. And what I'm more proud about this is that it symbolizes client impact, the amount of clients I've served and supported to also create incredible lives and businesses. And I'm also super proud of the way that I've done this. I haven't done this in a way where I've needed to burn out, exhaust myself, burn bridges or relationships or anything like that. I've done so in such a sustainable way. And that's why I'm so passionate about teaching this, because I see that so many people struggle to grow sustainably. Amazing.
So it's the 26th of August, 2020, and I'm currently trying to start my coaching business. And it feels like I've been trying to start for a year because I have been. And I currently have 4 clients, but only one's properly paying us. And I just find it so hard. It's all I want to do, and I just feel like I can't do it, and I feel like it's so hard, and I don't know what I'm doing. That's the story I keep playing in my head, and I just don't know what I'm doing. The only thing I do know is that I really want to help people with sales and marketing and business, and doing it on my own and figuring it out is so hard. I just keep trying and I just feel like no results come. Very deep down, I know it will one day, but I just don't know when or how. And I'm just afraid it will be, 10 months down the track instead of 3 months down the track.
So that was little Sophia when she first started her business, having no clue what she was doing. And as you could see, clearly did not like the business side of things. And now I love it so much that I teach it. So I promise you, if you relate at all to that previous version of myself, that things can really change for you too with the right approach. I did not have the right approach in the very beginning, obviously, but through investing in myself and making changes to create a beautiful, spacious business model, everything turned around for the better. So after I recorded that video, and I'm so glad I did because that video has helped a lot of people like normalize their experiences over the years. Shortly after that, I decided, right, I'm sick of crying myself to sleep every freaking night over my business and saying I want to grow and then not really doing anything differently. So I called the only business coach that I knew at the time. I used majority of my savings and I invested $9,000 to get the help that I needed to grow. I was terrified and very uncertain, as you can tell from the video, but booking that call and having that call with that coach and deciding to invest in myself honestly changed my whole life because it was there that I truly committed to my business and learned what I actually needed to be able to grow. And since then, I now have invested well over $150,000 to learn, the best strategies and different approaches to scale in this industry. So I know all of the ways. I've experienced them all, and I'm super excited to be able to share with you what works and what doesn't today. All right. And I want you to know that this isn't just a process that works for me. Here's just obviously some out of thousands and thousands of client case studies and testimonials of what is possible when you use the business model that I'm teaching you today. So you can see here's a whole bunch of screenshots of clients hitting their first 10K months, £8,000 days, 5K sales, signing new clients, all 5-figure days, speaking on stages, making 13K from an event, celebrating their biggest months, and so forth. All of this is what is possible when you have a spacious business model. Let me know in the chat, comment yes if you are super excited about learning this process. So let me know in the comments if you are ready to learn how to make 30K per month. Amazing, so good. I'm loving your hype and enthusiasm. It's super, super helpful. So to be able to help you with this, we need to break down what 30K a month actually is. So 30K a month is $360,000 a year, which is $7,500 per week, which is $1,071 per day. All right, that's the breakdown of 30K months. So when you see those numbers or hear those numbers on a scale of 1 to 10, how possible does that feel for you right now with your current business model? Does that feel like really doable? Is like 10 out of 10? If the way your business is structured right now, or the way that it's going right now, you're nowhere near the 30K months, you're more towards 1, right? So where do you sit on that spectrum? Let me know. All right, we've got 5, 10, 2, 5, 2, 2, 2, 1. Okay, we've got a huge variety here, and that's okay because you're all going to walk away learning how to do this. But you can see if you're rating yourself anywhere even between 1 and 5, you can see why you're not yet at 30K months. If it's not sustainable, if your business model isn't set up to be able to hold that, it's not going to work. It's not going to happen, right? Because we will not receive what we are not a match for and what our business model is not a match for. If we can't hold it, we can't hold it, right? And I mean that from an energetic sense as well. Okay. So it's super, super important that, we ourselves are an embodiment of the result that we want, but also that our business model is too. Okay. It's like the yin and the yang. It's the feminine with the masculine. It's the logical with the flow. We need all of it, right? We need that duality. Okay. All right. We've got a huge variety there. So let's turn this around. But I want you to know that either way, whether you answered 1 right now or 10, this is possible for you. Because if I'm doing it, and if many of my clients are doing it, and I'm sure you're following other coaches outside of myself that are also earning 30K months and beyond, then please know with the right approach, you can too. Who believes that at least, that with the right approach and support, that you can as well, even if you rated yourself at a 1 right now. It's really important that you have that belief. Yep. Okay. Amazing. So I want to share with you the framework that has made me over $2 million in the last 5 years so that you have the exact simple and sustainable and scalable approach that will get you to those 30K months on repeat. Okay. So this is my business model. It's super simple. Like I said, I have a clear calendar most days of the week. I never overextend myself. And it's because we've set everything up so intentionally. Anything that we can delete, meaning we don't need it, we don't do it. I don't do anything we don't need to do. Anything that I can automate, I've automated. Anything that I can delegate, I've delegated. And the combination of that creates a simple, sustainable, and spacious business model. All right. So let's dive in. I want to introduce you to my signature method, the scalable system. This is your roadmap to 30K months and beyond. Like I said, I'm making well over 30K a month now, and I'm using this model. So that's what's so cool about the scalable system, is that it supports you to get to 5K, 10K, 20K, 30K, 40K, 80K and beyond, because it is very sustainable. And it's broken into 3 core pillars, as you can see. We've got sustainable strategy, seamless sales, and simple systems. And when you implement and master those 3 pillars, that allows you to spaciously scale. This is the exact system that I used, right, as I learned it and created it to move from 5K to 30K months without the constant kind of posting content and without struggling to convert or feeling trapped in an unsustainable business model, right? Instead, this approach creates consistent, predictable income while giving you freedom in both your business and in your life, all right? And this is the exact system that made me over $1 million organically in under 4 years by age 26, okay? And over $2 million in under 5 years of business, right? I've not even been in business for 6 years. And this is what we've been able to achieve, which I'm super proud of, right? And there's me on holiday in Fiji. Okay, and I actually want you to know, because something I'm really passionate about, sure, money is great, and all businesses only exist if they make money. Otherwise, it's just a very expensive and time-consuming hobby, right? So money is super, super important. But what is my top values and top priorities is actually my health and my relationships and my lifestyle. And it's so important that my business doesn't cost any of those areas. And I actually want you to know that since I transitioned to having a spacious business model, the scalable system actually improved my health. It improved my lifestyle. It's improved my relationships, because I finally have the time, the money, and the freedom to invest into those areas. I go on a date night every week with my partner, sometimes multiple. I speak to my friends and see my friends every week. I go to the gym every single day. I'm able to invest in, good quality foods. I get 8 hours of sleep every single night, all of these sorts of things because of the way that I've structured my business model. Who can see that if they had a simple, sustainable, and scalable business model, that they would be able to invest the time, the money, and the energy into their health, lifestyle, and relationships? And let me know if that's actually important to you, because they're my top values. I'm thriving when my relationships are thriving, with my friends, with my family, with my partner, with my team. It's all very, very important to me, with my clients. But if I didn't have a spacious business model, I just simply wouldn't be able to invest as much into them. I just wouldn't have capacity. We all only have so much capacity. Yes, extremely important. Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Very important to me. Agree. Absolutely important. Amazing. So good, guys. I'm glad we're all in alignment here. And I really want you to know that scaling your business does not require working harder. Of course, there is an element of hard work. There's an element of time and effort and energy, of course, right? Especially in the beginning of your business. But to get to 30K months, it's not about just double your workload. Like, to double your business, it's not about doubling your output. It's not about doubling your effort, right? It's not about that. It's about working smarter. And that's what everything today is tailored around. It's about how can we work so much smarter so that you buy back your time and your effort and your energy so that you can invest that in the areas that you care most about. So it's really about working on the 20% of things that bring in 80% of the results and mastering that. That is what this is all about. So, who recognizes any of these faces? Let me know in the chat. We've got Mel Robbins, we've got Alex Hormozi, we've got Tony Robbins, we've got Dean Graziosi, we've got Russell Brunson, we've got Marie Forleo, we've got Lewis Howes, we've got Denise Duffield Thomas. Do any of you recognize at least one of these faces? Yes, a few. Yes, yes. Amazing. Well, you might be wondering, okay, why do you have all of these people on the screen? Well, I want you to know that they all do slightly different things. Look, they help different people with different things. we've got both males and females here, and they've also, some use certain platforms more than others, right? So they're all different in that regard. So it's not about there's this one secret strategy to success. It's not about you have to be a certain age or a certain gender or a certain location or been in business for a certain amount of time. None of those things is what's in common with these people. That's not deciding factors. I know people that have been in business 5 times as long as me and making an eighth of what I'm making, or still not making money, right? So it's not about age. I started at 22, right? I'm now 27, and I've made millions of dollars. I don't know many 27-year-olds that have done that. So it's not about age, not about gender, not about your past or your circumstances either, right? But what is in common with all of these people, because all of these people, what is in common is that they've created a lot of success, a lot of financial success, a lot of freedom. They're all using this business model. They all have a sustainable strategy. If they didn't, they would have burnt out, exhausted, and given up by now, because they've all been in business for decades, right? They've all got a seamless sales process. That's why they're making so much money and helping thousands and thousands of people, right? They're not doing thousands of one-on-one coaching calls, are they? Right? So they've got a seamless sales process, and they've got simple systems, because complexity fails and simplicity scales. So they have a really tight back end of their business that allows them to grow. Who can see that? Right? You might be wondering, why are they all using this system? They're using it because it is the best way to scale your business sustainably. Anyone that has been in business for decades, right, and has created that much success, they're doing so in a sustainable way. They have nailed, delegating, automating, deleting, refining, mastering. They are not trying to do everything and be everywhere and overextend themselves. They are working smarter, not harder. Who can see that? Amazing. So let me break down in a lot more depth the scalable system. Who wants to learn the breakdown of the scalable system? Pop a yes in the chat. We've got lots of yeses here. Yay! So good. All right, let's go. So as I mentioned, pillar 1 is sustainable strategy. I want you to imagine right now, boo, yeah, I love that. I want you to imagine right now waking up each day knowing exactly what to focus on to grow your business. You're attracting leads daily, nurturing them consistently, and converting them into clients, all without feeling overwhelmed or stuck. That is what sustainable strategy does. Who wants that? Now, that's the dream. Well, let's not make it a dream. Let's make it your reality, Jen. All right, so sustainable strategy is broken into 3 core components. This is what I've learned from investing hundreds of thousands of dollars from the world-class experts and through building and testing and iterating over the years. There are 3 essential things. You're going to want to write this down or screenshot it, because you need these 3 things. Otherwise, you will not get to 30K months and beyond. So the first thing is the daily lead attractor. You need a way to bring in dream leads every single day. If you were simply relying on referrals, word of mouth, hoping your content goes viral, wishing, thinking, any of that sort of stuff, you are going to be struggling. And if anyone's doing that currently, you probably are struggling, right? If we're relying solely on that, it'll get you to a point, might get you to 5K a month, maybe even 10K a month. But can you do that repeatedly every single month without fail? That's the difference. Eventually, we run out of those referrals. It's great to get referrals. It's fantastic, in fact. But to rely on it means you're reliant on something completely external and out of your control to a degree. So we need to implement the daily lead attractor. So we have a way to generate leads every single day. Is that making sense to everyone? Just let me know in the chat. So a way to attract is the top of the funnel. Attractors at the top. Then once we've attracted them, we need to nurture them. In other words, we need to warm them up, right? Because remember, people buy from people that they like, that they know, and that they trust. If they don't like us, they don't know us, they don't trust us, they ain't going to buy from us, right? So it's super important that we know how to nurture them. And if we don't do this intentionally and quickly, the reality is that those leads are just going to go to your competition. They're going to go to the person that is able to nurture them faster, right? You could be on all sorts of other workshops right now. You could be investing your time on so many other coaches, right? For whatever reason you're here, okay? And your ideal clients, or no, your ideal clients are currently consuming someone else's content if you are not nailing this process, right? And they're going down someone else's funnel unless you know how to grab attention and keep their attention and leverage, those people in your funnel, take them through a process. Not everyone's going to convert, but the right people at the right time will. And so we need to do this quickly, okay? So it's called the weekly audience nurturer. So it's a particular process that I teach my clients that every week they are nurturing the leads that they've just spent time and money even and effort attracting. What's the point in creating all this content and doing all this stuff if you don't then leverage them? Who's leveraging their leads right now? Let me know. Are you currently nurturing your audience, or do you not really have a clear process? Let me know. Clear process or stuck? Just put those two words in the chat, whichever one is most resonating for you right now. Stuck? Not really. Okay. Stuck? Oh, lots of stuck people. Then my guess is that all of you that are saying stuck right now are not at 30K a month, right? Because if we're attracting people and we are nurturing them, then they are getting warm and they're going down our funnel. Okay, lots of people are stuck, right? So can you see how you do need all these things together to work, right? But remember, everything I teach isn't just about it working, but also doing it in a way where it doesn't cost us all of our time. So that leads me on to the third piece that we need as part of our sustainable strategy, and that is the monthly event engine. So every single month, I run just one event. That's all I do. I run one event just like this. And not only does it nurture my ideal clients, but it also converts a percentage of them. So instead of being on back-to-back one-on-one calls, chasing people in the DMs, or just hoping that people reach out to me saying, hey, come buy from me, there is a percentage of you that are going to walk away from today being like, oh, I actually really want her help. And if we've got spots and if we're the right fit, there is an opportunity for that. And if not, we'll shake hands and walk away, and hopefully you got a lot out of it. But I run these monthly events, and it's where a lot of my income comes from. Okay. So the reason I love running events is because it actually helps people. It helps you. Like, who's being supported right now and is learning stuff and is having their mind open to things. So even if you don't buy anything, you're still getting impacted positively, I hope anyways, right? And so that's kind of the thing that I love about events, is that it's helping people and it allows me to help a percentage of those people at an even deeper level, because there's a percentage of you that are all in, you're committed, you're go-getters, and you're going to want to work with me closer, right? And that's what events do. It sells to multiple people, even subtly, all at once, instead of me having 101 DMs and back and forth and whatever. That's not sustainable for everyone, right? And no one wants it. No one wants to be followed up with 5,000 times. No one wants to be sent cold DMs. Who likes that? And some of your ideal clients don't even want to go on sales calls. I'm not against sales calls. I think there's a time and place for them. I think they're amazing. And not all of your ideal clients want to go on a sales call, and you might not want to go on a sales call. And so knowing that, having something like an event can be super powerful. Who's seeing that? Amazing. So they're the three things that you need to have a sustainable strategy in place. Daily lead attractor, so a way to attract leads every single day. You need to have a way to then nurture those leads every single week. And then you need to have a way to convert them every single month using the monthly event engine. But we don't only want clients once a month, do we? We want clients to be able to sign up with us all of the time. So a part of the monthly event engine is also running evergreen events. So this is like a pre-recorded event that has the exact same effect. So that way people can buy from you every day, every week, and every single month using the monthly event engine. So we use the daily attractor to find them or have them find us. We use the weekly audience nurturer to nurture them. And then we use the monthly event engine to convert them. That's what I need. Amazing. Well, that is what I teach, and that is what the sustainable strategy pillar is all about. So let me show you the old way that used to work, that no longer works when it comes to strategy, and then the spacious way, so you can really start to see the difference. So the old way is like creating content constantly just to stay visible. Who feels like they are running on this hamster wheel, just constantly creating new content, right? Me. Okay, yes. Yeah, it's pretty exhausting. I don't know about you. I don't really enjoy that. Yet, if we're going to grow an online business, it's very, very important. So instead of just disliking it and hating it, let's change the way we do it. Let's work smarter, not harder. So the more spacious way of doing that is repurposing one long form piece of content across multiple platforms. So all I do, guys, is I record one podcast episode a week. And that might take me between 15 and 30 minutes. I've got a podcast. It's called Behind the Business. If you're not yet listening to it, go check it out. And I record that one episode and I film it. And then my virtual assistant, who's incredible, she clips it into like 10 different reels. And those reels become YouTube shorts, they become TikToks, they become Instagram reels, they become, Facebook reels, and they just go everywhere. These little pieces, like these little short form videos, because short form content's important and so is long form. And it's basically just repurposed across the board, right? So I actually only sit down once for, let's just say, on average 30 minutes. And then the rest is taking care of me. I have my long form piece of content to nurture people, and I have short form content, and it's repurposed on every platform. So I'm not constantly reinventing the wheel for every platform. Who can see how that's a way more spacious way? Right. And I actually bulk record my podcast episodes typically. So I might record 3 or 4 in a day, and then that's all of my content done for the entire month. I run one monthly event, so I do one launch a month, and I create all of the content in once, and then I don't have to touch content, think about content, do anything to do with content for the whole month, because my VA will create the graphics, she will cut the videos up, she will schedule them and post them. I don't have to do any of that. That is the spacious way. This is why I don't spend much time on content. Yet I don't complain about it. I still do a really good job with it because it is so important when running an online business that we have to nail content. So I put in a lot of love and intentionality and effort with it. But because I have a process, I just follow the process. Terrific for sure. Definitely amazing, guys. The old way, guessing what to post and hoping it works. Who's currently doing that? Who's currently guessing what to post and just hoping it works? Me. Okay. So instead, we want to follow a clear rinse and repeat content and visibility strategy. So I am not changing this up every month. I'm doing the same thing every single month. Like I said, I run one live workshop a month. It's typically the same workshop as well. And my content is based around that. And that is all I do. It is super, super simple. So we want to have a strategy, guys, a content strategy that works for you, your business model, your niche, and your goals. You don't have to be everywhere, posting everywhere. But as you can see from my first point, it doesn't cost me any extra time to post everywhere once I've created the content. So as long as I do a really, really good job with my long form content, the rest is taking care of itself because we have a rinse and repeat content system, right? Next thing is doing all of the marketing manually and burning out. That's exhausting. If you're doing everything manually these days, when we actually have access to so many incredible tools and processes, you are just working harder and not smarter. Instead, we want to use AI, right? AI, I can understand, is a little bit scary for everyone, but when you know how to use it and you understand it, it's going to save you literally hours and hours and hours. So I use AI. I use templates, I repurpose content, right? And automation to stay consistent with less effort. Would you recommend AI tools? Yeah, so like ChatGPT, for example. Got a whole bunch that I recommend for my clients. I've created ChatGPT bots for them so that, when it comes to creating their offer, the bot will take them through the process, same with their content, same with their launches, same with their sales pages and registration pages. We've got ChatGPT bots for all of these things. That's what saves time. The bot prompts them to do those things. Okay. So that's really what we want to be doing there. If the old way is relying solely on referrals or cold DMs to find clients, there was a time and place where cold DMs worked for people, right? But now social media profiles or so social media platforms are a lot more stricter with what works and what doesn't. And so it doesn't work. And again, no one likes receiving it. And so unless you're cool to do something that people don't actually want, we really don't want to be doing that. A DM is a direct message, so a private cold message that you send to someone. And relying on referrals, I spoke about that before. Whilst that is great, I receive referrals. Having referrals is amazing. You don't want to rely solely on that. It's not sustainable. It's not going to create, that scalable business model that you're wanting. So instead, we want to run one simple workshop and have one simple funnel that brings in warm leads consistently. And then the old way is to be really general with your messaging. So like I said, being general worked in the past. You could get away with saying, helping you find your purpose, helping you build confidence, and that would work. And it just no longer works. Like that stuff doesn't work. Now, what's really important is that you're being hyper specific and tangible with your messaging. It has to be super, super specific. All right. Take my client, Becky, for example. She went from doing everything and feeling constantly exhausted and stuck at 5K months to scaling to over 30K months through an evergreen event funnel whilst traveling the world and homeschooling 2 children, right? As a single mum. She leveraged the leads that came through her evergreen event funnel and then had conversations with them, which that led them to signing up to her program. And while she was traveling the world, because she's from the UK, she came and visited me in Australia, and I got to meet her, which is so cool. And there's a screenshot of her having a £14,000 sales week. How cool is that? Now she's making consistent 30K months. And I say the word consistent, and I mean that. Using this one process. She's not reinventing the wheel. She doesn't have thousands and thousands of followers, none of that. Just one simple funnel, one evergreen event training that she also runs live, and that is it. That would be my goal. Yeah, well, it's so possible for you. And my other client, Tara, I also had the honor of meeting her. She's worked with me now for about 1.5 years, which is so awesome. She is a beauty therapist coach, and she started working with me actually at zero with a very small and unengaged audience, but she did have a successful salon in the past. So she did have that business experience, but not as an online coach. She had no idea how to do that. And within 6 months of working with me, she had made over $310,000. And she recently sent me a message to say that 100 plus of her ideal clients had requested to join her private Facebook group within a 24-hour period. And there's screenshot proof of that. So there's 125 people there. She nurtured her audience using the weekly audience nurturer. And that's how she was then able to sign so many clients most days of the week in her business with a 90% conversion rate. Unheard of. That's really cool. Here's a whole bunch of screenshots of proof. Her saying $13,000 in sales, signed 3 clients this week, only 2 clients off generating 100K in our business, starting with Sophia, 20K for the week, another new sign up, $71,000, possibly another one signing tonight. Like literally just the results are endless. So I don't have time to go into all 3 of these for sustainable strategy today, but I will go through the monthly event engine just in a little bit more depth than I currently have, so you've got a better idea. So this is how you attract a premium clients consistently without being glued to social media 24/7. Literally, I run one of these a month, and then all of the work is kind of like done for me. So instead of me talking individually to 100 of you right now, I'm talking to all 100 plus of you at once, if that makes sense. So by leveraging events and evergreen events, you will create a scalable sales machine that signs high ticket clients with ease, right? The real power though lies in combining both live and evergreen. We don't want to just do evergreen. There is a lot of power in running something live. And we don't want to just do live because it means you're only giving people an opportunity potentially once a month to truly buy from you. So we want to have, we want to leverage both of those types of events. And instead of relying only on one-on-one interactions, you'll be able to serve hundreds of potential clients at once, expanding your impact while working less. And so many people are afraid of running events. They think it's exhausting and hard work and all of these things. When you have a script, when you have a template, when you use the same process every single month, it becomes so easy, right? I'm not sitting here reinventing it every single month. I'm doing the same thing every single month. This long form content is so important when it comes to building relationships with people and helping people. And that's really what you're doing this for. It's to help more people. but you can only help so many people when all of your interactions are one-to-one. So we need a more scalable and spacious approach. And because I run events, that is literally why my calendar is clear most days of the week, because instead of one-on-one calls constantly and one-on-one conversations and needing to, do literally 5,000 pieces of content to build up enough like no trust factor, I can just run one event to my warmest audience. And that's, all of the hard work done for me. And here you can see some screenshots of some different people I've randomly found that are promoting masterclasses, events, challenges, whatever. They've got that all there. And some of them are promoting how to grow their business on Instagram, how to go viral on TikTok, how to scale on LinkedIn, right? But notice that they're not using that social media platform to sign clients. They're literally using the event to do so, which is so ironic. I find that so funny because it's not about the social media platform. It's about building the relationships with your ideal clients. So what's in common with these isn't the platform they use. It's the events they run to sign clients. Who can really see this? And I'm really curious to hear, have you ever bought off the back of someone, like someone's event that you've watched? Did you watch someone's evergreen training or live event and purchase? Right? What's the definition of masterclass versus webinar? It's literally the same thing. Masterclass, webinar, challenge, workshop, same thing. Amazing. I know I've watched workshops and purchased paying tens and tens of thousands of dollars, right? Yeah. So if they're not compelling, if the coach hasn't done a very good job at making it compelling, well then, yeah, you're not going to buy, which is why simply running an event is not enough. You do need to have a strategy and intentionality. And this is one of the biggest things that I teach my clients, because when you get it right, it does all of the hard work for you. But if you get it wrong, well, then it's exhausting. So whenever people say that events or launching is exhausting, they're just doing it wrong. Remember, there's always a smart way to do something and a hard way to do something. I've chosen the smart route. So instead of reinventing the wheel every month, I do the same thing every month, and I love connecting with people. I love helping people, and that's why it works and it feels good. All right. So we are really in a trust recession in the coaching industry due to AI, right? And due to the unregulation in the industry. Too many people have been burned by empty promises, which is why running live events and delivering long form content is so essential, guys. If you're not doing it, then you're going to really struggle to grow, because Google has this term called the 7-11-4 rule, right? 7 hours of content across 11 different touch points in 4 different locations is the average of what it takes before someone buys from someone. Of course, there are people that will watch this workshop and 1 hour is enough for them to buy, but there will be other people that take a little longer. There will be some people here watching this right now that have attended 4 of my events before. Everyone has a different buying cycle. But on average, most people need to consume 7 hours of content roughly before they trust someone enough to purchase. And you can do the maths yourself. If you are only doing 5-second reels or short posts or quotes, you do the math on how much content that would be to create 7 hours worth of content that someone can consume. Whereas when you run an event, 1 hour, just like that. If you have a weekly podcast, there's a few hours. Within a matter of a week or 2 weeks, there's enough content someone has consumed. I have people that find my podcast and they binge listen to like 20 episodes in a day, and then they buy from me. I have some people that get so much value out of my workshops because it's actually valuable. Like some people's workshops, no offense, really suck and they're really boring. And so people don't like them. And then they'll come to a workshop like this where they're actually being taught stuff. And then they're like, oh, I really trust her. And then they buy, right? And so we're talking about the average here. But if you don't have 7 hours of content that I can consume of yours right now, I can't buy from you. It's very unlikely that I would buy from you. Not because I need 7 hours of content, but I need long form content to be able to consume to really get a feeling that I can trust you. For high ticket services, sure, I might purchase a $27 thing of yours or something really short, form. But if you're wanting to charge thousands of dollars, which if you're wanting to make $30,000 a month, and beyond, you do want to be charging high ticket. Otherwise, you do the maths on how many clients you need to sign. It's a lot, right? So we want to be charging high ticket. So, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 plus, right, is what we want to be charging, so that instead of it being like, 100 clients we need to sign to make $30,000 in a month, it might be, 10. Do you know what I mean? And so we need to have that long form content that our ideal clients can consume right away so that they can buy sooner rather than later. So I'm really curious, where do you stand right now? Red, you run fewer than 3 events per year and convert fewer than 10% of registrants. Yellow, you run approximately 6 events per year and you typically convert between 10 and 20% of registrants. And green, you run between 10 and 12 events per year and typically convert between 20 and 25% of registrants. Red, red, red. Okay, guys. So you're starting to see how having that long form content and running events could be really supportive. So touch points could literally be, you opted in for a free resource, an event, you've opened up an email, you've clicked a link, you've followed me on Instagram. It could just be like touching things, literally. It could be commenting and engaging, just any form of interaction that really adds up, And this is why when people say, oh, only 10 people are here or only 10 people are watching me, it's like, do you know how amazing that is? There are 10 people that are taking time out of their day to click on your link, to comment on your live, to follow you on Instagram. That's a beautiful thing. People don't click things, comment on things, register for things, sign up for things if there isn't some form of interest or something you're doing right there. And so you can imagine if someone is having 10 or 11 different touch points, that means they are interested. People don't do that unless they are interested. I do not subscribe to just anything. I hate receiving emails. So I'm very mindful with what I opt in for. So if I do that, it means that person has caught my attention, and that is a very positive thing. But equally, people have an unhealthy expectation that all they, all an ideal client needs to do is like press a button and then, oh, why aren't they signing up? Why aren't they converting? You have to give people value. You have to give them opportunities to dive deeper. This is why I have a podcast and I repurpose that podcast onto YouTube, and why I run these events, so I can add lots of value from every single aspect to build that trust far faster than most other business coaches can be bothered to do. And it's super easy for me to do. 1 workshop and 4 podcast episodes per month. So I'm doing 5 things in a month that's super, super valuable. And that then gets repurposed and cut into a million pieces. Okay? Who's resonating with this right now? Who can see that they need to incorporate events, or at the very minimum, long form content into their business model? Amazing. So good. One of my clients, Georgia, she is a financial and location freedom coach. She made $24,000 from her first free event using my 3-step formula. She had a personalized plan for her signature presentation and launch that I worked with her on. She had a very specific promotion strategy tailored to her launch goals, and she mastered the power of presenting highly impactful events. And she made $24,000 on her first event. Her first. Now she's making consistent 30K plus months. She's killing it, right? She's gone viral on LinkedIn several times, but that's how much she made on her first event. That's the power of it. Now, let's move on to pillar 2, which is seamless sales. When your sales process is seamless, you'll create consistent income without the plateaus. What if you could sell in a way that felt completely aligned? No chasing, no cold DMs, just natural, effortless approaches that turn into dream clients signing up to your no-brainer offer. Who wants that? Let me know in the chat. Amazing. So there are 3 components that go into seamless sales. We've got your no-brainer offer. I don't support my clients to create average or good offers. We're creating no-brainer offers. And we don't settle for anything less than that personally, because I want to support my clients to get to 30K months as quickly and sustainably as possible. And that's not going to come from being average and playing small and having shitty offers. It's going to come from doing an exceptional job. So we need a no-brainer offer. And you might be wondering, why is that under sales? Well, because when it's so good, you don't even have to sell. Like, you really just don't even have to sell. It does majority of the work for you when your offer is so good. But if your offer is bland and boring and blasé and unclear and uncompelling, and it's not irresistible, people aren't going to buy it. And then, yeah, you do have to explain and convince and, follow up and do all of those things at a much deeper level. So we need to have a no-brainer offer to make sales seamless, right? I'm not just teaching you sales, teaching you seamless sales. It's a huge difference. I think we all know what icky, salesy, sleazy, uncomfortable, gross sales feels like. That's not what this is. No-brainer offer can be anything. It can be one-on-one coaching, it can be group coaching, it can be courses. But if we're talking about spacious scaling, we want this to be a group offer. And to scale, it also ideally needs to be a high ticket offer, because that's going to allow you to make more money with less work. And that's what we want to do. Okay. Like, let's just say someone was charging $497 for an offer, right? Some people are charging something like that. To make $30,000 in a month with a $497 offer, guess how many clients you need to sign? You need to sign 61 clients this month to make $30,000. I don't know about you, but I do not have the bandwidth, the capacity, the desire to sign 60 clients this month. That is a lot of work, right? Whereas if I'm charging, let's just say $5,000, I only need to sign 6 clients. What would you rather do, guys? Would you rather sign 60 clients to make $30,000, or would you rather sign 6 clients to make $30,000? There's no right or wrong. I'm just really curious. What would you rather? 495 is too much work. Yep, 6 clients, 6 clients, 6 clients, 6 clients. Okay, well then there's your answer. High ticket's very important because it gets you to your goal much easier without burning yourself out. Now, the sell via chat method is different sales approaches using conversations. All sales require conversations, okay? Whether this is through direct messages, sales calls, whatever it is, in person, you need to have a conversation or an interaction with someone in order for a sale to take place, right? When you go into a store to buy your groceries, you do need to, you talk to someone typically, or you talk to the machine, whatever. But there is a conversation, there is a process in place that allows you to give money to someone or something, right? And that is what the sell via chat method is. You need to know how to have sales conversations, right? You need to know how to handle objections if and when they arise. You need to know how to help people to hold themselves to a higher standard and make an empowered decision that's actually going to serve them and their higher self. That's what the sell via chat method is. So some of my clients sell using sales calls. I've got a sales call script and I teach them the sales call psychology. Some of my clients sell using direct private messages, and I'm teaching that process so that they know how to have sales conversations in the DMs, right? Some people sell purely off the back of these events, whether that's their evergreen or their live. I teach them how to do that. I teach how to sell in your content and in your emails and all of that sort of stuff. That is what the sell via chat method is. And it's so important that we have that, because you are going in a service-based industry, which we are all in. We need to have conversations with people. Make sense? Which leads me on to the third piece of seamless sales, which is the retention builder. This is super important because instead of constantly needing to find new people to grow, we want to retain the ones we've currently got. I don't know about you, but one of the big reasons I got into business was to help people, was to truly make a difference. And I have found the longer I work with someone, the deeper and the better their results are. Whenever I've, worked with people for only short periods of time, like there's only so much depth that can be created. But when you are working with someone long term, it allows you to go layers deeper. And when you do an exceptionally good job at supporting your clients, they're not going to want to leave. They're not going to want to go to someone else, right? And so the retention builder teaches you how to retain clients. And no one's going to stay with you if you don't do a good job. I've had clients stay with me for 1, 2, 3, 4+ years. Literally, keep in mind, I haven't even been in business for 6 years yet. Some people have been with me for that long, and they're not doing that for no reason. They're doing it because they're being deeply supported. They're getting results, and they can't find a better offer out there. Then they're feeling so deeply supported, they're not even looking. And you're not going to keep everyone. Not everyone's for you, and you're not for everyone, and so forth. However, there are specific things we can do to retain our clients. I love working long-term with my clients. As you can see from some of the photos from some of the clients I shared, I've met up with them in person. I've stayed at clients' houses. My clients have stayed at my place, right? Like, I build really deep relationships with them. I find that to be so much more enjoyable. So I might be talking about scaling and spaciousness all today. That doesn't mean lack of depth. That doesn't mean lack of touch points. That doesn't mean lack of interaction with clients. I know everything about my clients, everything that they share anyways. I know their kids' names, I know their husbands' names, I know, what they like to do outside of work. I know everything about their business model, and I customize it and personalize every single client's, situation based on, their goals and their values and their current situation. And I know all of that. But because I've got capacity, it allows me to go deep. So I don't like surface. I love going deep. And the retention builder has allowed me to do that, right? So that's what makes up seamless sales. All right. So again, let's go through the seamless sales overview. So the old way is that you're selling only through one-on-one DMs and calls that feel really pushy or draining. Who finds sales calls draining or DM conversations draining? Now, there's a time and place for them. I'm not against them. Like I said, I am for them. However, there comes a point where you're going to run out of capacity. There's only so many calls you can do in a day. There's only so many conversations you can do in a day. So you either need to delegate it to someone else to do the calls for you or the conversations for you, or you need to improve the way that you do that. Okay. So the spacious way to go about this is to actually let your content and your marketing and your events to do most of the selling for you. That's how I spend a lot less time on sales calls and in sales conversations, because the effort I put in to my events, to my content, does majority of that work for me. That by the time I'm actually having a conversation with a potential client, majority of them are ready to buy. They might have a question or two, they might be unsure about something, they might have a little bit of hesitation, but often they don't. They just jump on in because my marketing has done majority of that work prior to even a conversation taking place, right? I feel like they lead nowhere and require a lot of effort. Yeah, if you do them incorrectly or you don't enjoy it and therefore you don't prioritize it, it can really feel like that. Which is why if we're going to go to the effort to create all of this content, to run events and all of that, we might as well do such a good job and focus on the mastery of it rather than the dabbling of it to actually get the result that we want. Because you're not posting content to post content, right? Well, you might be, but the reason why you actually want to create content is to be able to sign clients and help people. So let's make sure it actually does that job. Another old way is like relying on back-to-back sales calls to sign clients. Like I said, you either got to delegate it eventually or you've got to improve your system. So selling with a no-brainer offer that does 80% of the work for you, okay? Like I said, if your offer is so good, people will feel silly saying no, and they won't need to have 50 objections handled and have a 1.5-hour phone call with you or a triage call, then a sales call. I've never done triage calls, which is like a 15-minute call to qualify them to the next call. And then there's potentially a follow-up call after that. I've never done that. That's not how I don't want to have 3 calls with someone. I want my marketing and my content to do that work for me, right? The old way, getting ghosted on sales calls or stuck handling objections because leads aren't warm enough, right? Instead, we want to host one event that consistently converts high-ticket clients. We want to warm up our leads before we're having sales conversations. So we're not sitting there having to explain our offer and do all these extra things. If we could have just done that in a scalable way, in a spacious way for everyone at once. And the old way, over explaining and convincing instead of simply guiding and asking questions. So we use really simple workflows. We have a pre-call process to qualify leads and have them already know about my offer and, you know, who I am and all of that sort of stuff before I'm even having a sales call with them, if that's something I do. So again, don't have time to go into all of them, but I will go through the no-brainer offer for you right now. So let's go. So a good offer has a title, some inclusions, and fair pricing. I would say like a good offer has those things, and I'm sure majority of you have that in place. So you might have, your program might have a name, might have some inclusions, and it might have, you know, pricing. Who's got that? Just pop a yes in the chat, just so I make sure everyone's got an offer here and that's what they've got set up. All right. Yes, 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 yes. Amazing. A no-brainer offer, though, has 5 additional components included. So I'm not going to go into the basics of an offer right now because you already all have that in place. I teach it. It is very, very important. But I'm talking about the exception here. Like, we want to create no-brainer offers. Like, I go through all of my clients' offers in so much detail because it's so important that it's a no-brainer. I ran a 2-hour workshop this week alone for my clients on this to make sure all of their offers were a no-brainer. So let me go through this in more depth. So your offer should be so irresistible that premium potential clients instantly see the value and say yes without hesitation. To get to 30K plus per month, you want to refine your offer positioning so it naturally attracts ready to buy clients through powerful messaging. You also want to shift from one-on-one services to scalable offers that increase both your income and impact without adding more to your plate. I currently have over 150 clients and I only do 2 calls per week, right? Just let that sink in. I'm not sitting here on 150 calls a week. I've got 2 calls a week and everyone feels so deeply supported. They're also supported every single day outside of my group calls. You know, it's an amazing system I've set up. You want to structure your offer to maximize client retention, increase lifetime value, and create a built-in referral engine. A well-crafted no-brainer offer does 80% of the selling for you, making it easier to sign clients without pushy sales tactics. So let me go through the 5 components for you of what makes a no-brainer offer. And you might want to take screenshots of this or answer in the chat or take notes. So the first thing is that it has a clear promise. This is important for clarity and desirability. Who here is going to buy an offer, someone's program or service, if they don't know specifically what outcome they're going to get from it? Just let me know. I'm really curious if anyone would do that. I don't know about you, but I would never spend hundreds, even tens or thousands of dollars on something if I didn't know what I was getting out of it. And I know that that sounds abundantly clear and obvious, but you would be surprised how many people's offers are so not tangible and so not clear and compelling. And a confused mind will never buy. Put that in the chat. A confused mind will never buy. So if you don't have a really clear promise, your ideal clients nothing matters after that point. They're not going to be able to buy or do any of those things if that's the case. So, is the result clear, specific, and emotionally compelling? I want you to answer in the chat. Is the result that you promise clear, specific, and emotionally compelling? I do a lot of work with my clients on this piece alone, but also in particular their I help statement. So their niche, because your niche will typically be the promise of your offer, right? Because who you say you help should be what your offer is about, is designed for. No, it could be better. Okay, guys, well, you can see why you might be struggling to get more consistent sales if already point number 1 isn't 100%. This needs to be 100%. There's just no rule for exception here. If it's not 100%, you're going to have inconsistent sales, which you probably have evidence of right now. So you need to go from unclear messaging to really, really, really clear messaging. All right. So an example could be go from unclear messaging to signing dream clients weekly. That's very clear versus like grow your business. So many people's niche is like grow your business, build confidence, improve your mindset, like feel empowered, right? We need to be way more tangible. I audited all of my clients' promise this week. So it's like instead of lose weight, it's like losing weight could be 0.5 gram. I'm sure your ideal clients want to lose more than 0.5 gram. So lose 5+ kilos in 6 weeks. That might be not sustainable. That was a random example, right? So how you know if something is tangible enough is if it's a result you can point to. So someone has either lost 5 kilos or they haven't. Someone has either earned $30,000 or they haven't. Someone has either gone from single to in a relationship or they haven't. Right? If you had a no-brainer offer for $5,000, what would that include and look like? Can you give an example of what we could include? So it's less about the inclusions, right? Like I said, that's what a good offer has: the title, the inclusions, the pricing. It's not about the inclusions. People don't buy inclusions, they buy results. This is where so many people go wrong, right? Is they spend so much time like, I'm just going to bend over backwards, have no boundaries, give all of this one-on-one access, and I'm going to give all of this stuff. And they wonder why people don't buy, even though you're giving everything, you're being so generous, because that's not what people actually care about. To a degree, of course, inclusions matter, right? It's what makes an offer good, right? A shit offer wouldn't even have that. So of course, inclusions matter, but your success with your offer does not come down to the quantity of your inclusions. It comes down to these things that I'm speaking about now. Okay. So it would be a waste of time for me to share right now the list of inclusions, because if I just said you'd give 6 one-on-one calls, you would have a workbook for each week, and you would, have this XYZ thing, and you all did that, that doesn't mean you all create success, right? It's going to come down to this promise and the other 4 things I'm about to share. Okay. I'm glad that makes sense. So good. Great question though. And I hope that answers that. So we need to be ultra specific and tangible, not save more money or make more money. It's like more money is $1. I'm sure someone wanted more than $1. So ultra specific. The outcome has to be something that you can point to. I need to be able to see the before and after extremely clearly. So you guys are green if you know exactly, like if your ideal clients know exactly what the offer does and that they want it. And it's red if it's too vague, right? Okay, so we need a clear promise. Number 2 is we need bonuses. This is going to enhance the value, making it more of a no-brainer without overcomplicating it. So sometimes I see people have more bonuses than they have actual inclusions of their offer. That's confusing. Sometimes I see people's bonuses be more valuable than the inclusions. Bonuses are bonuses. They're not meant to be necessities. They're meant to be desirable, but not essential. Because if bonuses are only available for a limited time and then someone was to miss out on that, if that means they now can't get the outcome because they didn't get the bonuses, you've designed it wrong, right? So we want to have bonuses, right? So do the bonuses solve objections or fast track results? That's really what it's going to come down to. Not just more stuff. Again, no one wants actually more stuff, but more support and more speed. That's what people really want. So examples of some bonuses you could give is like swipe files or downloads, one-on-one access, templates, onboarding stuff, short courses, challenges, whatever that might be. I'll show you 3 bonuses that I give. I like giving 3 bonuses. And I change them up, right? Because it's a bonus. They're not available forever kind of thing. And so I just give something really, really generous to incentivize quick action takers. That's what I love. So guys, pop in the chat. Green, you have desirable bonuses included, ideally 3. And red, if you don't have bonuses included, then you know that this needs to be added to your to-do list on how you can make your offer a no-brainer. Red, 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 red. Nope. Yep. Okay. Green. Amazing. Some green. Red. Okay, guys. Not yet. I'm on it. Amazing. So good. Green, but they could be improved. Amazing. You want to give really cool names for your bonuses, by the way. You want it to sound really exciting and compelling. I'll show you an example of mine later. Number 3 is the guarantee. Now I need to dive deeper on this one. So what makes your offer safe to buy? Like, could you offer a results-based guarantee or a time-based guarantee or a satisfaction guarantee? Now, this one is like an optional one. You don't have to have a guarantee. The reason I put this in here is because 1, it absolutely helps make an offer no-brainer. However, depending on you and your niche, having a guarantee might not be the right thing, but you still need to have a reason for why you don't have a guarantee if that's the case, because some people will ask. And if you can sell them on your reason, you're fine. It's still a no-brainer. But if you don't know and you just don't have one, not very helpful if and when people ask. So a guarantee, like a results-based guarantee, could be like, if you haven't lost 5 kilos within the 12 weeks, I will work with you for another 12 weeks for free, right? Or something like that, or time-based guarantee or satisfaction-based guarantee. It's like, love it or leave it. If you don't love the program in 30 days, leave it, right? So, or like if you show up and don't get results, we'll support you one-on-one until you do. These are some options that you can do. I have done guarantees in the past across different offers that I've had, and it's been really supportive. Currently, I do not offer a guarantee, but I have a reason why. Okay. But it has worked for me in the past. And it's not to say I'll never do it again. Currently, with the offer that I have and the place I'm in and how solid I feel about me and my service and the pricing, and it already is such a no-brainer, it doesn't feel necessary for me to have that. Like if someone needs a guarantee in order to work with me, they're really not my people, to be honest. But that doesn't mean there's not a time and place for a guarantee in maybe your offer or that sort of thing. So basically, some guarantees that I've had in the past is I've had a 14-day love it or leave it period, but it was for a short program. It was for a 6-week program instead of 12 months, which is what I do now, right? And so that's the difference. No one ever took me up on that, by the way. I've also done a guarantee of like my program at the time was like $997, and if they didn't make their money back, I would give them their money back, but there were like 5 different things that they had to do to be able to get the money back, because I can't guarantee results. If, I know that my process works, but if you don't use it, it's not going to work, right? And just like all of your offers. And so I had rules in place that they had to do these things to be able to get their money back. And it was like, they had to have come to X number of calls, post X number of questions, completed X percentage of the course modules, blah, 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 like a couple of other things. Again, no one ever requested a refund because it was just super clear with the way that I had set it up and framed it that, you have to do the work to get the result. And so anyone that, would want a refund wouldn't have met those criteria and wouldn't have been able to get a refund. And those that did meet the criteria were getting the result. So no one ever asked for one. So that's some examples of, guarantees that I've done in the past. I think I've also done one once, but I didn't enjoy this one where I did like, if you haven't made $10,000 within 6 months, I'll work with you for 6 months for free. And the reason why I discontinued that is because there were a couple of people where that was the case, where they joined, for the guarantee or that being a part of it. And then I gave them the 6 months free access, and then they didn't show up for the 6 months because they weren't paying for it. They were no longer incentivized. And so it didn't work. And that is, a reason why I currently don't do guarantees. But for certain people in certain situations, they're amazing. I've got clients that do them. And like I said, I might do one again. But basically, to answer your question, Ella, like if someone says like, Severe, do you offer a guarantee? I say, no, I don't offer a guarantee because I can't guarantee your results. No one can actually guarantee your results. I can guarantee you that I will show up 100% for this service and I will show up 100% for you, but I can't guarantee that you're going to show up 100% for you. So really the question is are you going to show up 100% for yourself? If the answer is yes, then you don't need to worry about a thing. You just need to follow the process. And so that's kind of like roughly what I say, because that's my true belief. Like I don't want to offer something that I can't promise, and I can't promise someone is going to get a result if I can't guarantee that they're going to show up for the I'm not some magical fairy where you just pay money and then all of a sudden you're rolling in cash, right? Like you actually have to do the work. Just like if I want to get a result, I have to do the work. And that's been the case in every program I've ever been in. So yeah, that's how I answered that. But again, if I was to have a guarantee in the future, I think there's a time and place for it. It's just your terms and conditions have to be met with that. And all of those sorts of things. And I think they're amazing when done correctly, because you can offer a guarantee if your terms are backed by it and all of that sort of thing. Alrighty, so let's move on. So the fourth thing is a payment plan. Okay, so you want to have accessibility without undervaluing your service. So is the pricing structured for your ideal client's mindset and, situation, basically? So I love, like, being inclusive is a value of mine. And so something that I have in place is that, we have an in full option, but then we also have an inclusive payment plan option for those that are not in a situation to be able to pay in full. If I only ever gave one option, I would be, leaving, like, there would be so many opportunities where I'm not able to help someone. Okay. So it's important that you have both an in full option and a payment plan option. Where I see people go wrong with this is that they have, like, so many different payment plan options, or their payment and pricing doesn't make sense and isn't a true reflection of the actual result. So many people think, oh, like, if I'm just cheaper than all my competition, people are going to come to me. That's not actually how it works. If I see an offer for something that I'm interested in, and one is $500 and one is $5,000, my brain goes to what is wrong with the $500 one, not, oh my God, I can save $4,500. Like, I'm going to go for the higher ticket one in most cases. Because if something sounds too good to be true, in that regard, I question it. Why is this person undercharging so much for so much value or so much time? So it's important that it's a true reflection, right? Just like, I remember when I didn't have very much money, and, like, before I was a business owner or whatever, I remember when the Apple AirPods came out, I was like, they're too expensive. Like, I cannot buy that. And so I found on Facebook Marketplace people selling, like, cheap, like $20 ones that, is a different brand. And I remember driving for like half an hour to this random lady's house to buy this $20 headphone set. And they were just so bad. Like, I could, like, the music sounded terrible. When I was on the phone to people, people couldn't hear me. And it was just so bad that I ended up throwing them out and then going and buying the Apple AirPods. So it actually cost me more because I went for the cheaper offer. And it was so out of my way and so inconvenient, and, like, such a terrible, like, user experience, right? And I really learned that lesson there of, like, if you want something, obviously, there's exceptions and it depends on certain things, but, like, like, quality over quantity is kind of my mindset now. Who here's, like, purchased, like so many different short courses, and they solve, like, a tiny problem, but it's like, there's so many missing pieces, or you've gone for the cheaper thing thinking, like, I'm going to save money here, but then it just hasn't been that good. And then you end up investing in the bigger program that you wanted after all. Like, I've had so many clients do that where they're like, oh, I should have just joined your program to begin with instead of all these other little things that I didn't actually want, but I was just trying to save money. I've had that happen so many times. So you want to make sure that you've got good pricing structure going on here. Now, it is important, I have found, to incentivize a pay in full in a way that feels good and not forced. So, what I mean by this is that it's important to note that if you're offering a payment plan, having a payment plan does cost you money and it is more risky. And so, if you do not make paying in full slightly cheaper, you are just going to have most people pay on a payment plan. Now, I've got a lot of clients on a payment plan, and I love the payment plan because it's a monthly recurring revenue. But I found when there was no difference in the cost of the payment plan versus the in full, no one ever paid me in full. I was like, why is no one ever paying in full? And it's because I wasn't incentivizing it. So now it is cheaper if you pay in full versus if you pay on a payment plan. You don't want it to be such a big gap that you feel like you're punishing the people on the payment plan. That's not the point. You're meant to just be rewarding those that pay in full to actually incentivize it if that's an outcome that you want. If you don't want pay in full, then you don't need to do that. So that's kind of the mentality there. So are you green? You have a supportive and clear payment plan in place, or red? I need to improve my payment plan options. Pop in the chat. Are you red or are you green? Green, amazing. Green, green, green. Okay, good. Fantastic. And number 5 is having urgency and scarcity. So this is for ethical momentum. So are you giving a real reason to act now? So you want to have either limited spots, limited time bonuses, start date, or price increasing. And it's so important that this is genuine. If people figure out that you are just, like, making this up, then a lot of trust is is lost right away. So you want to be genuine about this. But let me ask you this, guys. If I were to give you 100 clients tomorrow, could you handle it with the way things are currently set up right now? Could you handle 100 clients starting working with you as of tomorrow? No, 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 probably not. No. Okay, right? So the reality is you have a limit on how many people you could probably take on board tomorrow. What would that number be for you guys? How many could you possibly hold tomorrow or this month in general with the way that you currently work? 10, 10, okay, 20, probably 10, 10 to 15, 10. Amazing. So there's your limited spots. You can take on 10 people because that is genuine, right? So now you have this sense of urgency or scarcity, which makes your ideal clients move faster, which is what you want, because their life doesn't change if they stay on the fence and stay still. Their life changes if they make a new decision, right? So if you just share the genuine truth, you have capacity at how many people you can help and who you can help in this given moment, and you leverage that, you help people's human brains to move faster, right? I always say action takers are money makers, because people that don't take action, don't move, that are really, really slow, also don't grow and make money. You change when you do something different, when you change things, just like nothing changes if nothing changes. And so you leveraging genuine urgency and scarcity helps people to make decisions, take action, which is how they get results. You know that your clients' lives are going to change as a result of working with you, not just staying stuck where they are. Do we all agree with that? So we want to leverage urgency and scarcity to help them to move. So do you currently showcase the urgency and scarcity within your business? So this could be limited spots, limited time bonuses. Maybe your program has a start date. And if you're ever increasing your pricing, which you should, everything else in the world increases, right? Cost of living. And so whenever you are going to increase your pricing, you may as well promote it to leverage that. No, 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 no regarding urgency and scarcity. Green, not enough urgency, need to implement this, right? Okay, well, there we go. So you can see, guys, some of you have answered red for everything or for most things. And that means there is room for improvement when it comes to your no-brainer offer. And this is just some of the things. Like, this is some things that can absolutely help. You know, we obviously haven't dove deep into all of the other things that go into it, but this is stuff that helps make your offer a no-brainer. So do you want to see a real example of a no-brainer offer? Let me know in the chat, just yes or no. I won't bother with it if people don't want it. Okay, yes, please. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, amazing. Let me stop sharing my screen and show you my no-brainer offer so I can give you a bit of a walkthrough on this. Definitely, yes. Okay, awesome. So I'm just going to, all right. I just sell my offer on this Google Doc. So this is my offer for Scale School. So let me walk you through how I've got these components of a no-brainer offer fed throughout this, and feel free to ask any questions if you've got any. So first of all, we've got some urgency and scarcity. It's genuine. So I've got 6 spots currently open for my program Scale School, and I'm closing the doors. Like the final cutoff is Monday at 5 p.m. On July 28th, right? This is genuine. Why? Because every single person that joins my program, I have a 90-minute one-on-one with them, and I then create a personalized 6-week game plan for them, where I create their ideal client profile, their no-brainer offer, their personalized marketing strategy, 30 content hooks, and 6 weeks of specific tasks based on their starting point and their goals to get to those 30K months. That's, you know, a fair bit of time and effort and energy. And I do that because, you know, it is an investment to work with me, and I want my clients to get results as quickly as possible. I want them to get their return on investment, so everything's a profit from there, as quickly as possible. And that one-on-one that allows me to get to know them and their business very quickly is super important. And that plan changes the game for them. And so because of that, I only have so much capacity that I desire to invest in doing those things. So for that reason, this is where we're at. We've signed, you know, people this month. And so this is what we've got left. So it's genuine, right? Then for the promise. So the promise is scaling your coaching business to 30K plus months and create true freedom the simple, sustainable way, right? This is the big promise. And then I've got some sub promises. So leads every day, sales every week, clients who stick around, and a business that grows without burning you out, right? So this offer doc is like how I sell my offer, right? So, that's kind of like how I open it. And it's a high touch 12-month program for ambitious online coaches who are serious about creating a scalable business model with a spacious calendar that impacts hundreds, all without a huge audience, sending cold DMs, or burning yourself out. Who's finding this compelling and good so far? So we've got the promise, and we've got the urgency and the scarcity so far, right? And then being really, really clear on who it is for and who it is not for, right? So I only take on a few people at a time so I can give you proper support, which means I'm looking for the right fit here. You'll thrive in this program if you're ready to take real action instead of second guessing every move. You know you're good at what you do, but you don't have the strategy to grow. You want a clear, proven path that fits your lifestyle, not someone else's hustle plan, right? So I have this in place. What does this do, guys? This qualifies people. It means the people that aren't the right fit aren't going to bother, and the people that are the right fit are going to keep reading. So it literally says here, if that sounds like you, then keep reading. Because if it's not you, you don't want to keep reading. It's not for you. And that way, I'm not wasting my time in sales conversations or sales calls or having people come into my program if they're not the right fit. I only have people that are ideal clients in my program. I love all my clients. They're like become my friends. We're family, community. That's why people stick around for years. And then it's important that you break down how you help them. So what we cover, I'll guide you through my proven method, the scalable system broken down into 3 simple phases. There's that. And then I break down the 3 phases. So the first 3 months are all about fast momentum, onboarding process, build the 6-week plan, and then we'll refine your no-brainer offer, build your daily lead attractor, and set up your sell via chat method that converts leads with ease. So being really clear for those detail-oriented people that love the details. Let me know in the chat. Do you like just big picture or do you like details? Everyone's different. There's literally no right or wrong there. Just curious. Details, amazing. Well, for high ticket, most people probably, like a bit of detail. Big picture, details. Okay, cool. So, and then I love giving people clarity and reassurance because people really need to trust to make a decision. Often people's objections, it's not actually the money, it's not actually the time, it's not actually those things, it's they lack self-trust. And so it's really important that you do whatever you can to help people to trust themselves. That's what it comes down to. So I literally say here, most clients sign high ticket clients and make back their investment within the first 30 to 60 days. Okay. Phase 2, strategy and growth. Next, we scale what's working. We will launch your weekly audience nurturer, build your monthly event engine, and set up your retention builder so clients stay longer and refer others. Notice with everything I'm sharing, I'm speaking into the outcome and the benefit of it. So like, I don't just say build your monthly event engine, right? I'm saying it so they can get sales. I'm not just saying like launch your weekly audience nurturer. I'm saying to like warm up leads and convert them fast. That's the outcome that my ideal clients want. And I can only get this right because I know my ideal clients so deeply, which is why you need to know your ideal clients super deeply. This is where most clients hit between 15 and 30K months, right? And then phase 3. Now it's about doing less and better. So it's all about refinement and mastery here. So we'll simplify your backend with the organized backend, save time using plug and play tools in the operations stack, and upgrade your inner world with the identity upgrade to match your next level, right? Why Scale School and why Sophia? Okay, so I share a little bit about my story, some client results, and then I've linked hundreds and hundreds of client results here so that, there's proof. That's what people need. People need proof in order to buy. So I've just got all of these client results that I've just, collected over the years so that my ideal clients can see, oh, this doesn't just work for her, or this doesn't just work every now and again. This works for everyone that goes all in this process, no matter the gender, no matter the age, no matter the niche, no matter any of those things. It just goes on and on and on and on and on and on. Like just so many. I just keep collecting them, right? And it just shows proof. So you want to have proof. Then I go into what's included. So you get 12 months access to 2 weekly calls every single week. private Facebook group for questions and support every single day, social media audits, feedback on content, whatever you need, 6-week personalized game plan, the scalable system curriculum, quarterly virtual weekend retreats, weekly copy review, and social media and funnel audits, right? So I go into all of those inclusions, and I don't just list the inclusion, I kind of explain like the outcome and the benefit of it, so people truly know. And then the investment, $6K USD in total for the 12 months, right? And then I have a payment plan option as well. And then I just say most clients make this back within 1 to 3 months because that's the average. And then bonuses. Remember, we spoke about bonuses when it comes to a no-brainer offer. If you join in the next 72 hours, you will get over $2,000 worth of bonus courses for free. So remember, I was talking about how you want to have really cool and catchy names that kind of speaks into the outcome of what this is. So the 3 bonuses that I'm giving at the moment for those that join in 72 hours is the 100 leads in 10 days challenge course, the booked and banked 30-day sales challenge course, and the tech tutorials course. So these aren't essential things, but they're desirable things. People want it, like you can see, oh, I want 100 leads in 10 days. I want to get booked and banked in 30 days. I need help with tech tutorials. That's kind of how I go about it. And then I've got the link for people to just join. That's the offer. Can you see how those components of the no-brainer offer are weaved within here? Let me know if that makes sense and if you've got any question. Would it be more attractive to people to present this as a presentation in Canva, or do you think people don't care about that? I mean, I kind of like it in a doc because it kind of gives this like casual conversational approach. Kind of feels like, I've just written this up for you. I think that's kind of like the benefit of this. Whereas when something's like really polished and perfect, it's a little bit like, this isn't just for you, this is for everyone. I do have a sales page though that, has all the fanciness and everything I just said in a sales page. I actually do have that. It's longer and more in depth and whatever. But some of this is just a bit of noise, right? It's like what people really care about is the details, but the people that want all of this detail, like every inclusion, every module, I do have this full breakdown for people if they really need it and are more visual like that. But I know that some people they just want the important information, and I feel like it just gives this nice casual approach, because whilst I'm very organized and very detail orientated and all of those sorts of things, I'm very laid back. And so I kind of like to offer both. What if it's a new program and you don't have proof? Well, then you are your proof. So if you don't have client testimonials and you aren't able to get them, you need to double down on the results that you have and be able to showcase that. It makes it seem more personal in that format. Exactly. That's refreshingly simple and digestible. I'm so glad. Are you guys loving this so far? I don't usually go so deep in this stuff, so I really hope you're loving it. Yay. Okay. I shall go back to sharing my screen now that you've seen that. All right. So that is an example of a no-brainer offer. And one of my clients, she had honestly burnt her business to the ground 3 times before she started working with me. She just kept burning out because of the way that she went about it. And then she joined my program, and it was all about stripping back to the basics and simplifying everything. And she ended up making $70,000 in her first month and got 31 booked calls within 24 hours from running her second event in her private Facebook group with less than 400 members in it. That is really proof that you don't need a super large audience if you do things correctly. And there's literally screenshot proof of the message she sent me. It made me cry. She's like, oh my God, Sophia, I just ran my event and already have 31 calls booked, 31, and I'm not even opened my cart yet. Oh my God, I'm so grateful for joining this program. I know just joining it gave me the kick that I needed, and have been posting really consistently. I feel like crying. I've now got open cart for 2 weeks. Lisa can't even keep up with the calls. So you might be thinking, oh, but 31 calls doesn't sound spacious, but she's delegated it, right? She's got someone doing the calls for her. And so if you're going to use sales calls instead of an offer doc, like I showed you, then you'd probably want to delegate it at some point. Is this possible with a small audience with paid advertising for the offer? Yep. So like I said, Abby here, had 400 members in her group. So that's a small audience in my personal opinion. And as for paid advertising, I've got an amazing ads manager who runs my ads for me and helps my clients as well. That's not my area of expertise, but we do support with it and teach it. And I've delegated it. So I'm really big on delegating when something's not your area of expertise, or if you just want to buy back your time more. So yeah, my ads manager supports with all things ads. I did get to over $1 million without ads. But then again, when I wanted to spaciously scale even further, that next step was like, okay, instead of me going out there and finding all the leads myself, how can I automate that? And Facebook ads have automated the process. So I can be sleeping and getting leads, right? And that's what I really, really love. We still do organic marketing, of course. I think both are very, very important. I don't just want to rely on one. I have both. But yeah, hopefully that answers that question. Thank you so much. Your brilliant content and help feels so much clearer on this end. Amazing. So good. All right. Pillar 3, we're getting there. Pillar 3 is simple systems. So I really want you to picture your business running smoothly with templates and workflows that save you 15 plus hours each week. No chaos trying to find certain documents or manually doing tasks that could very easily be automated or delegated. Just a well-oiled machine that supports your growth. Who would like that? Pop a yes in the chat. And I would love to know, like, when it comes to systems, automations, all that sort of stuff, how does that currently feel? Like, everyone's different with this stuff. Some people just get overwhelmed.com straight away. And some people are like, no, this is like my strength. Feels exhausting. This is what I'm missing. Okay, I'm glad. Well, you're going to love this then. Let's turn this around. Love systems. So good. So just like the other 2 pillars, there's 3 components that go into this pillar. So first is the identity upgrade. This is actually very, very important. The identity upgrade is basically your mindset and your energy, right? Because you can only attract and create what you can personally hold yourself. So if you don't believe you are capable of making $30,000 a month, it doesn't matter if the strategy is handed to you on a silver platter, you are going to block the opportunities that come your way, even if it's subconsciously, for getting those results. So it's so important that you have the identity of, I am the type of coach, or I am a 30K per month coach. I am a 50K per month coach. You know, I made $80,000 in my business in 1 month when I believed that I could hold that and things weren't going to burn to the ground or whatever. You have to feel safe to receive and safe to expand. It's a capacity thing. And that's what the identity upgrade is. And so that comes under systems, because that is like, it's a mindset system. It's a system for your brain to be able to hold more. The organized back end is, again, organizing the back end of your business, with just knowing where things are, not having 1,000 different subscriptions and places you hold things, having it all in one place. I use Google for everything. Google Drive is where all of my documents are. The Google Bookmarks tab is where all of my important links are. I have not one file on my computer at all. I don't use USBs, hard drives, none of that. Everything's all in one place in organized folders. And a lot of my clients join my program because of this, because they know I'm so organized, which hopefully you may be gathering anyways. So that's what the organized backend is. And this just saves you time, right? If you are not organized, you don't have things in your calendar, you don't know where things are, you don't know what you're doing at any given time, it's really hard to scale. Try scale with that mindset, right? It's just going to amplify the overwhelm you're currently feeling. Whereas I don't really get overwhelmed very much anymore because I'm organized. And then the template hub. So this is where I use templates for everything, for all repeated tasks. I hate reinventing the wheel. I just can't stand it. So that's why every month when I run a workshop, I just run the same workshop. Reminder emails, same emails every time. I'm not sitting there rewriting all those things. Sales call pitch or script, podcast pitching, certain DMs, all of these things, templates for all of it, Canva templates, and I give it all to my clients. Like, I've created this hub of templates for them so they don't have to do all of this. That's the exhausting part. Like, this has taken me years to build, guys, like years and years and years of and investing in so many programs to piece all of this stuff together. But now I've pieced it all together and I just give it to my clients. They don't have to write those scripts. They don't have to figure out the right way to say something or do something. Like, it's done for them. Same with like their cover photos or certain graphics and stuff. I've just created the templates. So they just have to put their colors fonts and photos on, but the actual layout is already done for them from a graphic designer, so that's what I'm a really big fan of. And that's what the template hub is. So that's that. So the old way is manually doing everything yourself. If we can automate it, guys, we want to automate it, right? So the spacious way is to automate admin and using systems that run without you. If I had to manually onboard a client every time myself, I would subconsciously not want to sign any more clients. Okay, so we want to automate that. So if someone purchases from me, I don't have to do anything. They immediately get taken to a thank you page. They get immediately sent a welcome email with their clear next steps. They immediately and automatically get login details to the courses and all of that sort of stuff. Like, it's all automated. Super important. I don't remember the last time I posted on social media either. It's all automated, and we don't even use an external platform for that. The old way is also like tracking clients in notebooks or spreadsheets or messy documents and just it all being all over the place. Whereas the spacious way is having everything in one place. Like, we just use one platform, and it's like our CRM. It tracks clients. It tracks everything. We don't have to have like all these different things to be able to find everything. Another old way is like forgetting to follow up with people or losing leads, or like you can't remember what you're meant to be doing next because you just can't keep up with it all, right? We don't want to be doing that. We want to have a system so that, again, like I said earlier, if I was to give you 100 leads, who wants 100 leads? Pop yes in the chat if you want 100 leads. So lead is someone that you can contact, a potential client, right? Yes, 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 yes. Okay, well, if I literally gave you 100 leads, could you hold that? Like, would you have a process to contact them, build a relationship with them, and take them down a process without it taking your whole day, right? I know you could all message 100 people and start conversations, but that might take your whole day. Is that spacious? Could you be like, having quality time with your friends or doing other things at that same time? Probably not, right? Could be way more efficient, feels overwhelming right now. Exactly. So I could give you 100 leads, right? You need and you want 100 leads, but you're all telling me it would be difficult to manage. That is a problem, right? That is another way of saying you're not in a position currently with how things are structured to be able to scale. That's a real problem. Whereas we can have 100 leads come into our business and they get taken down a funnel because everything I do is scalable, right? Running events can have 100 people here and they're all being nurtured and supported. Okay, so I can hold 100 people on a call. I can hold 100 people in my program, right? We can run ads, so I don't have to manually go cold DM 100 people to get clients. Like, we just run an ad and 100 people come, so I can hold 100 people, which is why my business scales. But if I couldn't hold it, well, then I wouldn't have the result. Okay, in the way that I have the result. Like I said, we can all send 100 messages, but if it's going to take you your whole day and you're now not present from your whole life and you're glued to your phone the whole day, that's not fun. I don't even think I've checked Instagram today. Like, that's just, I don't really spend my time glued to social media. I spend it living my life. I spend it growing my business, or I spend it supporting my clients. These are the things that I enjoy doing. I was on a plane today. I was on holiday yesterday. Like, these are the things that I spend my time doing. How many are in your team? So I've got 3 people. I've got an ads manager, I've got a virtual assistant, and I've got someone that helps me with messages as well. So just 3 people. No full-timers or anything like that. Really big on high profit margin, lean team, all of that sort of thing. And I really got to $1 million with just one person on my team as well. So, don't feel like you need to have like 100 people and 100 different things in order for this to work. I'm just in a position to keep delegating, keep automating, keep systemizing to get more and more time back. Okay. So that's really how that works. Great question. And yeah, if you're creating things from scratch every time, like emails, postscripts, and you're never repurposing or leveraging things that you've taken all this precious time to create once, then that's also the old way. The spacious way is to really use like templates and repeatable assets so you're not constantly reinventing the wheel. So then it's really hard to know what part is actually working versus not working. So again, don't have time to go through all of these. I'll just go through the template hub really quickly so you have an idea. So my guess, based on everything you were just saying, is that your business is working, but it's chaotic. Like you're capped at how much it can work. Would that feel accurate? Right? You're making money, you're serving clients and showing up consistently, but behind the scenes it's like a little bit of a mess. Yeah, accurate. Yep. Okay. Your content creation, lead generation, and client management are all dependent on you right now. Is that correct? All dependent on you. If you stop, your business slows down or worse, stalls completely. Let me know if that's accurate. Yep, not automated. Okay. Are we all starting to see why it's difficult with the way your business model is currently structured to be able to get the result that you've been saying that you want? Yes. Okay. This is the problem. Scaling is not about doing more, but it is about setting up systems that remove you as the bottleneck. That's what's really important here. So this is a screenshot of my calendar to give you an idea of what my calendar looks like as someone that's making, $80,000 a month. So I've got 2 group calls per week. I've got a Q&A call that I run inside Scale School, and then I run a workshop every week for Scale School. So Q&A call is an intimate call where I answer people's questions. Any and all questions are welcome. The other call is me teaching on a different topic, and it alternates. So one week the workshop's in the morning and the Q&A's in the evening, and then alternating basically, so that hopefully people can make one of the times. So I do 2 calls a week, and then I go to a Pilates class every day. As you can see, the blue events is Pilates classes, and the rest is all free time. So that's spent with my partner, going for walks. Sometimes I'm crazy and do 2 Pilates classes in a day, or, working on my business and supporting my clients, right? But this is a typical week in the life for me with how I've set things up. I don't have back-to-back sales calls because it's not something I always have the doors open to. A lot of people join from the offer doc. I will jump on a sales call if someone needs and wants to have a chat. I'm all for that, and I love that, and I've got capacity for it. I just don't always have it open. And yeah, this is kind of what it looks like. And this is because of the spacious business model. Who would like their calendar to look like this out of curiosity? Maybe some of you already have it like this, but if you don't, let me know if that is something that you're wanting. And out of curiosity, what would you spend your free time doing? So I've shared with you what I do: walking, Pilates, seeing friends, going on date nights, all that sort of thing. What would you spend your time doing? Would you spend it more with your kids? Swimming, running, gym? Love that. Outdoors with the kids. Yes, traveling more. As a PT, I'm not sure this would be possible. Well, you could do group PT. You could also go online. There's definitely options if you're open to it. Holidays, traveling, learning with my daughter, hiking with friends. Would love to donate my time to volunteer. Amazing. Well, let's make this all your reality, guys. So here is how you know that your systems are holding you back right now. You constantly feel like there's too much to do and not enough time, so you procrastinate or avoid tasks altogether. Who relates? You spend hours on repetitive tasks like content creation, lead nurturing, and onboarding when they could just take minutes or be automated completely. Your Canva, your Google Drive, and your business processes are disorganized, making everything take longer than it should. And every month feels like you're starting from scratch because you don't have repeatable, scalable processes in place. And the irony here is that you got into business for freedom and for impact, right? You want to help more people and you want to have more time to do all these things that you've just told me you want to do. But because you're doing everything manually, your business is actually running you instead of the other way around. And you're probably working harder than if you were to just work a 9 to 5. And so we really want to change this so you can buy back your time. That's what it's all about. And so when I talk about systems, because I know that that can sound like a really rigid and masculine word, I don't mean having complicated tech, rigid structures, or 101 subscriptions. I can count on my hand how many subscriptions I have. I'm talking about smart, repeatable processes that just make scaling more effortless. So templates that will save you 10 plus hours each week. Using AI, guys. You have AI. That is not something I had when I first started my business. It saves so much time. I use AI a lot. Automated client onboarding that runs without you. So people can literally sign up in your sleep. Every coach's dream. That was always my dream in the beginning. Like, imagine someone paying me in my sleep. And now that can happen and they can start consuming content and getting results, even if I'm asleep. And that's how I have a global company with clients all over the world. And a simple, organized content system that allows you to show up consistently without reinventing the wheel each month. So like I said, I create my whole month's worth of content in one day, and then I forget about it. My VA takes care of the rest. It's amazing. But I've built the system to do that, to be able to delegate that. If it was all over the place, she just wouldn't be out. She wouldn't know what to do, right? So this is exactly what I teach. In my world, I really have a belief that if something needs to be done more than once, probably should put the charger in, that there is a template for it or an automation for it. I don't like doing manually doing, the same thing over and over again. So if you're still running your business like you're at 5K per month, then that mindset, that approach, those systems isn't going to get you to 30K a month. So that's how you know it's time to upgrade your systems. So who's realized this from this conversation alone, that they could be having some more systems in place that's going to buy back their time? Right? Let me know. Yes, definitely time for upgrades. This resonates so much. Yay, so good. So the template hub, like I said, I was going to go through. Where do you stand currently? Red, I have no templates and repeat everything manually. Yellow, I have some templates, but they are hard to find or to use consistently. And green, I have an organized operation stack for all key tasks, and I work smarter, not harder. Let me know. Are you red? Are you yellow? Or are you green? Lots of yellows, few reds. That's totally fine. It's all changeable. Okay, so when you master these 3 pillars, so we've gone through sustainable strategy, seamless sales, and simple systems, and the 3 components within each, your business doesn't just grow, guys. It transforms. You will literally wake up excited, knowing you're building a coaching business that's aligned, scalable, and impactful all in one. And this is what happens when you get this right. Potential clients will reach out to you, eager to work with you without needing every detail about your program. This is blowing my mind. I'm loving it. Yay, so good. You wake up to messages in your inbox of like, how can I join your program? And your client list grows effortlessly, and you even have a wait list of people ready to work with you. Because remember, you can only take on so many people at a time in most cases. And so sometimes there's a little bit of a wait list, right? And here's some screenshots of situations I've been in. Clients have literally created folders in their home of everything they're learning in my program. Clients referring me in public spaces saying, I love my coach. She has a program that will teach you everything you need to know about coaching successfully. Check her out, and tagged me. Saying, I joined the mastermind after months of manifesting it. I've literally been on people's vision boards. It's so crazy. People sending me gifts out of excitement after paying to join my program. Who wants that kind of energy when it comes to people joining your programs? Yes. People saying that they're sold before even knowing the investment. That's what I mean by no-brainer offer. Okay. This is also what will happen when you get this right. Opportunities will flow to you. You'll be invited to speak at events, collaborate, and be interviewed. I'm interviewed on people's podcasts every month. I've been invited to speak in front of hundreds and hundreds at schools. I've hosted events in person. These opportunities will flow to you when you build a brand and you stand out in the space, and you get so much exposure. And that's a smarter way of growing, rather than hoping you get a new follower today from your piece of content. Instead, expose yourself to audiences with hundreds of people, and there's the hundreds of leads. Business will actually, believe it or not, become fun. You will feel energized, aligned, and excited every day. And you'll have more freedom and income than you ever imagined, creating space for the life that you've always dreamed of. This is what is possible, right? When you master the scalable system. And I obviously teach the scalable system inside my program Scale School that I briefly walked you through earlier. Okay. So at this point, I really hope that you can see the absolute importance of implementing the scalable system if you want to scale your coaching business sustainably to 30K months and beyond. Who can see that? But my bet is, amazing, that you didn't just attend today just to gather more information. I hope you've taken screenshots. I hope you've taken notes, but you probably didn't just want more information. I bet that you showed up because you're ready for real, tangible growth in 2025, right? For sure, this is liquid gold. Yes, great work. Amazing, right? So good. So for those of you who want my help scaling your coaching business using the scalable system, I would love to share how I can help you just do that. Okay. If we work together, we're going to start by installing these 4 essential systems in your business in the first 90 days so you can start signing more clients and increasing your income right away. So first, we're going to implement the daily lead attractor. Let's get you consistent leads. I didn't have time to go through the daily lead attractor today and what that entails, but it's a variety of ways that you can attract high quality leads in your business every day, whether that's organic, collaboration, or paid, right? So that's what the daily lead attractor is. We need to install that right away so you can start getting leads. Super important. Who would like more leads? Most people want more leads. Then we need to make sure that you have a no-brainer offer, because you can have all the leads in the world, but if you have a shitty offer, they're just going to not be interested. Okay. So we need to have the no-brainer offer. So we want to create an offer so good that your audience literally feels silly saying no. Who wants that? The third thing we're going to implement is the sell via chat method, because once you have the leads and you have the offer, we need to have conversations with them, right? Whether that's via DM, whether that's on a sales call, or whatever form that is, you need to have a way to communicate your offer, communicate the value you provide, and help people to be able to take that next step. And I love having a variety of ways. I do some sales calls. I have an offer doc. I have a sales page. I sell on my events. I have a variety of ways that people can buy from me in a variety of ways all of the time. And I give recommendations on what you should focus on first, when, why, how, all the things. Give the templates for everything. Just like with your offer doc, right? We have a ChatGPT bot that helps you to create your offer doc using my formula and so forth. So that's what the sell via chat method is. We need to implement that. And then finally, the organized backend. This is what we're going to do in the first 90 days, because you can't really scale chaos. Okay. So we need to organize the back end of your business so that you can show up daily without the overwhelm. That's really what that is. Because here's the thing, knowing what to do is one thing. You might know what to do. You might have an idea, but having a clear, personalized roadmap to implement is another. Okay. So your next step, if you would like to work with me or see if working together is the right fit, or you would like to learn how to implement the scalable system into your business, is to book a free roadmap call with me. So just scan this QR code. I've also got my beautiful team that have put the link in the chat for you as well, if that's more convenient for you. But either scan the QR code or click the link and book a call. That would be amazing. It's first in, best dressed, right? I've only got so much capacity for these, and we've actually only got 6 spots left for the rest of the month in Scale School, okay? Because of the extensive plans I make for each individual, right? So that's what I have capacity for at the moment. So if you would like to see if working together is the right fit, just scan that QR code or click the link and book that. Okay. And in this call, what we're going to do is we are going to audit your business model and your strategy. So we'll take a look at your niche, your offer, your strategy, just to see what's possible for you in terms of clients, revenue, and growth within your business. We're then going to take a deeper look into your coaching business to see the number one thing that's holding you back right now from growing to that next level, right? Because usually for most businesses, there is one thing that, when uncovered, actually allows your business to grow. And thirdly, we will start to map out a 3-step custom roadmap to get you to those 30K months that you're wanting. That's where true freedom really starts to kick off. Okay. This will also tell me if and how I can help you. If I feel like I can help you and we have spots available still, just depends, first in, best dressed, then I will invite you to take that next step so I can support you the whole way to those 30K months and beyond using our system. Okay, you're going to leave this session feeling really clear, really confident, and really excited about your next steps. And honestly, I do these calls for free because I know that if I help you, map out a plan and see what's truly possible for you, that I have a huge percentage of those people that really just want help implementing that plan. I can teach it to you, I can show it to you, but some people just really want the templates. They want the hand holding, they want the support. They don't want to guess their way there, right? And so if that's you, I'd love to help you because that's my jam. That's what I do. If it's not the right fit, if that's what you feel like on the call, whatever, no hard feelings. We can shake hands and walk away. And I hope that, you've at least gotten something out of it to be able to move forwards with where you're at. Okay. But if you're committed, you're ready, you want to do this, just book it in. Okay. So all of the case studies that you've heard of today, Liz, Abby, Becky, Tara, Lani, several others that I showed you, they all started through booking a call with me, right? And that led them to making little tweaks, sometimes big tweaks, big changes and decisions that ultimately changed the course of their entire business and life. Okay. So this is your opportunity now. This is your invitation. So yeah. Any questions, guys? If you want to pop it in the chat, we've got a couple of minutes left and then we shall wrap up. But this has been awesome. I've had so much fun. I can't believe it's actually been 2 hours. It's wild. So if you've got any final questions, anything you want clarity on, then let me know. But well done to you that have just booked in a call. That is amazing. Do you know how awesome you are? That is very nice of you. That's so kind. For online fitness and nutrition coaching, I feel like people benefit more from one-on-one, especially beginners, like custom plans. Not necessarily. I mean, personally, I only ever invest in group programs. I don't even have a one-on-one coach. People just want the outcome. So it's often just a belief that people prefer one-on-one over group. I actually find that there's a lot of benefits to being in a group program because you're not just learning from the coach, you're learning from everyone. So something I do inside Scale School is I interview clients in there that are making 30K a month. So you're not just learning from me, but you're learning from everyone in the community that's making really good money using the strategies, because sometimes you hearing it in the way that they articulate or the strategies they're doing, you learn so much from that. So I think it's just a belief. Great workshop, Sophia. Thank you. You're so welcome. I'm so glad you all loved it. This has been really insightful and helpful. For those of you that are still around, I'd love to know, like, what was your biggest takeaway? I obviously shared so many things, but what is the biggest thing you are taking from this? I really just hope you are able to see why you are struggling to hit 30K months. I hope that you can see that so that you know that something needs to change. Wow, so many of you are booking a call. This is awesome. Laura, everyone else, well done. I'm super excited to be speaking with you. I do have limited capacity at the moment because I'm traveling, so apologies if there's limited availability, especially for this week. I've also blocked out my calendar tomorrow because I've decided, because I'm crazy, that I want to run a half marathon just because. So can't book to be there, but that's what I'm planning on doing. I've taken up running to fill my free time. But yeah. Thank you. Loads of gold. Wish I could sign up. Amazing. Well, if you want to sign up, I would honestly book a call, because if Scale School isn't the right fit for you financially, we do have another offer called the 5K Fast Track that's better for people right at the beginning, low on funds. It's just a slightly more affordable offer. So if you actually want to work with me, you want to get access to me and my system, we have options. So I'd book a call either way. I know I need to work on my offer a bit more and I would love to schedule a call. Amazing. We'll go in and schedule it. We've just linked it for you there again so that you can do so. And if anyone's watching the replay, it's linked below if there's spots left. If there's no availability, then we've run out. Just booked my call. Yay! So many of you booked. Good. My calendar is full. I love it. So good. I'm so excited. Great gifts in helping others. Yeah, well, it's my favorite thing to do, to be honest. So any other final questions, guys? There's a lot going on here. Oh, does this approach work for membership businesses? Yes. Yep. I mean, my program is not a membership, but it is a program that just keeps on continuing. And some people could articulate that as a membership, even though there is a minimum commitment. You're a star. Thank you. Great gifts in helping others. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Any other questions, guys, before we wrap up? Thank you so much for your time and your energy. By the way, I know for some of you it's really late. Some of you it's really early. Either way, super grateful for your presence. It's been awesome to have so much interaction in the chat. Just booking a call. Yep, no worries. We'll give you some moments to do so while the link is there, and then we'll wrap up. But I'm loving how many of you have booked a call, because I've loved everyone's energy today. So personally, I'm really excited to dive deeper. Marion, you just booked a call. Wendy, amazing. So good. Great session. Thanks, Sophia. You're so welcome. So welcome. Guys, wish me luck for my half marathon tomorrow. I don't know why I do that. I don't know why I've done that. I just decided the other day to take up running again, because I was like, I'm kind of bored with how much spare time I have. And now I've overcommitted myself. And that's my situation tomorrow at 7:30. Off to bed for you. Yeah, literally. Booked in, you will smash your half marathon. Thanks, guys. All right, so good to see how many of you I'm having a call with after my half marathon. So if you see that I'm just no good, you know why. So many of you back to back. It's really awesome. Sophie, Aubrey, Bronwyn, Marion, Erica. Oh my God, so good. Love it. I find having a goal is the only way you can achieve anything. You will do so well. Yeah, exactly. That's why I've just told myself I'm doing it. I've done it plenty of times before. I just haven't done it for years. That's all. Um, Thanks, guys. All right. I think most of you have all booked in now. I believe you've all booked in. I'm looking at all your faces and I believe all of you have booked. So I'm super excited for that. I'm going to love and leave you all and let you rock on with the rest of your day. But thank you for your love, your presence, your energy. It's greatly appreciated. I'm glad you got a lot out of it. And here's to creating a spacious business model in 2025 because, you know, when you know better, you got to do better. Thanks, Wendy. Appreciate it. All right. See you guys. Love you all. Have the best day and evening. Bye.